Welcome to Rounding Decimals. Today I will be able to round decimals. I know I've got it when I can correctly answer at least 2 of the 3 exit ticket questions. The first thing you're going to need is your spiral notebook. And as you get your spiral notebook, you're going to open it up, and that very first page in your notebook is going to become our table of contents. So, first thing, you're going to write the title and page numbers. So the title is, of course, Rounding Decimals, and the page numbers are going to be 1 and 2. You will also need to get up and go to the mailbox and pick up the graphic organizer number 1. And this will be found, again, on the mailbox in the front corner of the room. And as you're looking at this page to the right, that's what it looks like, except it doesn't have the color. You're going to bring that back to your seat, and then we're going to take some notes on it, and then you are going to glue this into your spiral, and it can either be on page 1 or page 2, which is page 1 would be the back of the table of contents, or page 2 on the right hand side. You want to number the bottom corners of the pages, so as you open it up and you have a page on the left and a page on the right. Left is 1, right is 2. And again, you should write the title, Rounding Decimals, on either of those pages. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and fill in this rounding poem. Alright, so the rounding poem is this. First, we circle the digit. We look right next door. If it's 5 or higher, we add 1 more. If it's 4 or lower, we just ignore. Okay? So you should have written circle, right, 5, and 4. Sounds like something you probably learned in elementary. Okay. We're going to do some examples together, and just like I do, I'm writing it, and so you should be copying. If you get stuck or if I go too fast, you need to pause this. Otherwise, just keep going. First example is to round 3 and 914 thousandths to the nearest whole number. So the whole number is this 3. So I'm going to circle that 3. I'm going to rewrite it down here a little bit bigger. Okay. So I'm going to circle that 3. The poem tells me to look right next door. Okay. And if it's 5 or more, I add 1 more. So that means that I add 1 to the 3. If it's 4 or less, I let it rest, or I just ignore it. Well, so here, this one, in rounding to the nearest whole number, that means I don't want any decimal. It's going to be 4, because this over here, 1 plus 3 is 4. That's your first answer. Next, round 82 and 456 thousandths to the nearest tenth. So again, the first thing that I'm going to do is go back because I didn't press this button. Okay, still getting used to how to write this. 82 and 456 thousandths to the nearest tenth. Now, if you're not sure what the tenths are, go back to your note page, because there's a table there that tells you exactly where the place values are, and you can write right on there and do these examples in there as well. But the tenths is right here. This 4 is in the tenths. Okay, so I circle that digit and I look to the right. That's 5 or more, so we're going to add 1. Okay, so to round this, then I'm going to keep all of that information that was before my number that I'm working with, and I'm going to get rid of what's after it because it's to the right of the decimal. So my final answer is going to be 82 and 5/10. Okay, and remember, tenths is the last position that I want to write because it told me to round to the tenths. Third example, round 4 and 9,297 to the nearest thousandths. So 4 and 9,297. Okay, I want the thousandths position. Again, where do you look to get this answer? Right, on your chart if you're not sure. But we have tenths. This is the tenth. The first 9 here is the tenths. This 2 is the hundredths. This 9 is the thousandths. Okay, so I'm going to circle it. I look to the right. That 7 is more than 5, so I'm going to add 1 to it. Now this one's a little bit different. So what that means is if I add a 1 to a 9, what do I get? 10. So I put that down here, just like I would be adding, and I carry it. So that 2 actually becomes a 3. And then I save my 9, and I keep my decimal, I keep my 4, and remember, we don't write that 7. So my final answer here is 4 and 930 thousandths. Now, I do need this 0 here because I'm told to round to the thousandths place, and that 0 right now is in the thousandths place. Okay. For those of you that are understanding decimals, 4.93 is equal to 4 and 930 thousandths. Okay. Not sure if you can see those decimal points there. Okay, those are equal, but because we're rounding to the nearest thousandths, I need to put that 0 there. Okay? Alright, what's next? Up on top of the mailboxes, there are some whiteboards or dry erase boards or whatever you want to call them, and some markers. And so you will need to get a marker and a whiteboard and bring it back to your desk, and you're going to pause the video and you are going to complete these 3 problems on your dry erase board, and then you're going to come and show me. Okay, and then I'll give you some feedback. Okay, so make sure as you're writing them on the dry erase board that you number them. That you number them 1, 2, and 3. That you write the original, that I can see your work where you're circling to the place value that you were looking at, and then that equals your final answer, just like we did in the examples. How I rewrote them, I circled, and I showed you my thinking. Okay, so pause the video, write these out, bring them back and show me. Alright, so hopefully I got any questions answered for you. Now you're going to do some independent practice. So what you need to do is go back to the mailbox, and now you are looking for worksheet number 1. Again, it's labeled in the mailbox, and notice what it looks like. This page over here. And you're going to complete this worksheet. If you don't complete it during class, then that's your homework. Okay, this is what you need to get done. You should be able to complete this in class. When you are done, then you're going to bring your paper over, and I will show you where the answer key is. And I have some markers or pens, and you're going to actually grade your own work. Okay. Then what you're going to do is after you have graded your own work, you need to correct any mistakes. Forgot to put that on, type that on here, but correct your mistakes. And if you're not sure, this is a great time for you to ask for help. Okay? And so once you've corrected your mistakes, you can go back to the counter, check your answers, put OKs by the ones that you got wrong before, if they're okay, of course, and you should get 100%. Okay? 100%. You are not to take a picture unless you have 100% correct. That means all of them correct. Okay? You're going to take a picture and turn it into Canvas, and I'll give you some instructions in class on how to do that. Okay? Alright, once you're done with that, then you are ready for your exit ticket. And your exit ticket is kind of like a little quiz, just to make sure you know what's going on. And you're going to get a half sheet of lined paper from mailbox 2, the bottom right corner. I'll show you where that's at. And again, you're going to pause the video and you're going to answer these 3 questions. And then you're going to bring it to me. I'm going to check it right away. Okay? And remember that today you were supposed to be able to round decimals and get at least 2 out of these 3 correct. Okay? So really, the goal is to get all 3 correct. And then, once I have graded those and talked to you about that, then you are going to, bring it to me. I'm going to check it. After it's been checked, you're going to take a picture of it and you're going to put it into Canvas. Okay? So, you should have 2 things in Canvas. You should have the individual assignment that you have 100% on, and your exit ticket, which already should be graded, and you're going to turn these into Canvas under the correct assignment. And again, we'll practice this. Make sure before you submit your picture in Canvas that you can actually read it and look at it and see your work, because if you can't read what it says, neither can I. And we want to make sure that both of us can read what's going on there. I'm sure I forgot something that I'll tell you more about in class, but if all is well, then you're going to go into Canvas and you're going to be ready for your next video, which will be your next assignment. Alright? And don't forget, go Hawks!